We all have different perspectives. Old, young, and new, Vermont has seen it all. While older generations have seen Vermont grow and change, the younger generations are redefining the state on their own. In trying to find out what Vermont is all about, I realized how every generation has a new way of thinking. I set out to learn about Vermont as it is, as it was, and how it will always be, by asking Vermonters, young and old, to tell me their stories. The ages range from
8, 10,
13,
17,
52.
78.
For some people, growing up in Vermont was
Growing up in Vermont in the 60s and 70s was more farmlands. There was more things to do, but most of the stuff was outdoors. Didn't spend time inside all the time. Transportation was generally either walking or a bicycle. Parents didn't take us everywhere. Fishing was a good pastime. Worked the farm quite a bit on the farms, mowed lawns, and the excitement was a lot of the excitement.
It was very, very good growing up in Vermont, and we went wherever we wanted to go. We had to walk. We walked to school, and at lunchtime we went home to lunch, and then we walked back to school. And some people had to walk a lot further than we did. It was safer on the road them days. There was not so much traffic.
people have learned.
It's just more open, more free space, and you learn to get along with a little less because you weren't, it isn't like that I grew up in a city.
I feel like in Vermont I have learned a very nice sense of community, and being a community as a whole is very important.
I've learned how to make maple syrup. That's very cheesy, but yeah.
But Vermont's beauty stretches between all generations.
I love to see the changing colors in the fall.
I like to see the change of the leaves.
The leaves change. They're very pretty.
I like to see the mountains. I like to see the rolling hills.
I like the beauty of Vermont. I like to see the mountains.
I would like to say the variety to be able to do things. I like to hike, I like to walk, I like the ability to go roam in the woods or the mountains or go hike a mountain or something. And there's a good variety of being able to do that. I would say I like that best.
There are some amazing places to go in Vermont, and some were especially important.
The place is to go to Ben Jerry's.
My favorite place to go in Vermont is Church Street.
I like going to Burlington because the waterfront is really nice and there's lots of places to shop and hang out.
I like to hike Thunder Mountain.
I like to hike on Stowe.
My favorite place to go in Vermont, I would say, I seem to always fall back to the farm that I worked on when I was growing up. I still hang around over there quite a bit, even though it's not a working farm anymore. It is an important place that I spent a lot of time.
Some places just don't have everything Vermont has.
Vermont has a drastic change in seasons compared to Florida.
Vermont has the original Ben & Jerry's and the Ben & Jerry's factory.
As the original Ben & Jerry's. No other place has that because it was originated here.
Vermont has the best maple syrup and the real maple syrup.
Home is in Vermont, so I guess the other places don't have it is in my home.
I have lived in the same house for 56 years. Raised my family, and my grandchildren have all spent a great deal of time here, and we have our home that is based on love.
Now, living in Vermont, you must have a favorite Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavor.
I like the coconut 7-layered.
Chunky Monkey.
I like the one that has like Reese's in it.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Salted caramel blondie.
Vermont has so many wonderful features and places. You won't find a place like Vermont. It's in our history, it's in our future, and it's woven into our story. The face of Vermont is not one person, it is all of us. Young and old, ambitious and proud, our voices and our stories come together and have shown me all that Vermont is.
I do like living in Vermont.
I like living in Vermont.
I like living in Vermont.
I like living in Vermont.